show on the road.
Let's get it.
There's you.
Dojo Boys are back.
Yeah.
Season 15, episode 15.
Yeah.
Oh, 1550.
15,
Does it
man.
mean anything but by the numerology?
Bali. Let us.
Sa fela gore batho ba mmuso ba gola.
Ka di 15.
Bali is our resident chakra.
I don't know, bruh.
Are you a chakra hand?
No,
Bali chakra
I
hand.
don't.
She used to former
Are you a
No,
former
I
chakra
was
hand?
an aspiring one.
or an expiring
Yes, like
chakra.
when I was in varsity, I had aspirations
That
to be a
you were
chakra
that
hand.
Erika Badu and India Ari wave.
Did you wear
Yeah.
turbans and burn incense?
Yes, I used to.
And
you
the
know,
flowy dresses and
And
you
the-
know
and
get
the
away from
diffusers.
I was on Hymn Society. I was that person.
right?
Collecting crystals.
Right?
And then, Bashimani Bakala.
You
All
have
of
all-
those
Le
rubbish.
retela senya kaofela nyo ba
Did you have a dream catcher?
I did. I had several.
Did you believe in what?
What?
Retrograde what?
Yeah,
Retrograde.
retrograde.
Powerade. Bang
Powerade.
Powerade. Did you also believe in that stuff?
Used to.
Hole, man.
I had, yeah, that's a
Denzani
whole.
retrograde.
And then, you know,
Man. No wholesome, man. No wholesome, man. Yeah, she still is, but hey, you know that
I'm
version,
wholesome
that,
different
yeah,
now.
Yeah, that version would have been a dream to get to know. I mean,
Yeah,
any
we-
plans? West 22, where
We're
we at?
22, our house, our home.
Yeah, man. Shout outs to West 22 episode. We're doing a whole season in one place, man.
They're even letting us record in another room, you know.
You know what I'm
We are
saying?
starting to be like family.
Yeah, shout outs to West 22, man. Hit them up if you need any.
It's only a matter of time.
For photography,
I hope
photography
not.
needs and stuff, ne?
Yeah, man.
And then if you want what Modise is wearing,
Yes.
you can catch it on uzuri.co.za,
vendor-
uzuronline.co.za.
on our vendor store
And
there.
you can see, I think the products were loaded. We profiled the merchant last week.
Yes.
Leleke mo le di pocket what?
Dominic.
Dominic.
Honey bun.
He should start a brand called Dominic's Dildos.
Shout outs to Dominic, man. And shout outs to Uzuri. Online.co.za. If you want to be a vendor, you can sign up easily on the platform. Just join in there. You can sign up for yourself as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, man.
Kiplaga party. Will we have the staff say some fun design by the drop?
Nah,
Not yet.
leave it on ice a bit.
Okay.
Yeah.
The kit will let's
Yeah, let's hold that. Let's hold that.
Probably in the
I
next
want us to
episode.
have a proper rollout.
Alright, cool.
Yeah, let's hold that.
Alright, cool.
Nothing else?
No, nothing else.
I mean,
But it must be, we need to start plugging you to get a man. So,
Hi, Tawang. Hi.
Oh
so
my
when they
God.
plug, the day you tola muna ra stop our plug.
Oh my
Stop
God,
crying.
Go
no.
plug.
Why was I'm incapable of catching a man by myself?
Well, well,
Spin
That's what I'm doing.
where's in your work?
It's like, what am I supposed to do? Bring my work to you for approval?
Well,
And who says I actually am looking for a man?
I
Like,
need a daughter from you.
hi, man.
I want to give this pot to our children. So there's already 3 replacements for the men. You need to have a daughter, so we need give this platform to our children.
You think I want my child to be a part of this mess?
Surviving Dojo.
That we do before I get to take over the pot.
Hi, buddy. You been good?
I'm okay, Des. How are you?
Yeah, no, I'm easy. How's the week been?
Just
Just a normal week.
A week.
Yeah. No spanny wires. Aye.
Same old, nothing different.
Same old, ne?
Yeah.
That's var. When I told
I had a long week.
Nadine san.
My wife is overseas for 2 months.
You look
She's in Amsterdam.
nice.
And I think she's going to also go to Switzerland. Ufqedela research ya PhD.
Alright.
The day of Kimisa Airport, the following day, I had a cousin from out of town and he goes
Came through. to
Ukile
visit.
for una le ref application. He was in an accident in 2016.
About to get paid.
Yeah. My family might be.
Nigga about to get paid for
So
where?
now, go thwe ke mo tsamaise he o na le ntho vele wa tshwana o ya Rivoni ke ra no ke haufinyana ke tla o wa bo ibile re nana re ke baitse ke appointment ya 9 o tla fitla a etse ntho a ba sa ke misa park station ha re fitla ra ba re doctor was on call re gutle after ka 1 so it gets delayed ha re bona doctor fitla re bone ka 2 ha re qeta Ho titlamile somewhere for X-rays. But then he thought I'm got one stop. The X-ray ba go kwetse go gutle ka osane.
So ke ntho tse ngata a di etsa le process.
Yeah, and answer it and because I think it's his first time in Joburg, and he's 36. His first time in Joburg, I think. Or ukila Taiwan ka choir. So now I don't know if it's good or bad because I feel like it's better to do your things because now being in Joburg plants even a seed off.
Oh yeah, like
who's paying for these X-rays? And doctors.
Yeah, KRF.
Okay,
But it's KRF. So it's part of their verification process to determine the severity
of the injuries
of the injuries. So you go to their doctors.
Isn't it a bit too late to be taking X-rays?
I can say because funny enough, he's not dealing with a lawyer because
he could have already healed by now.
Nah, he's not. He's not. There's
more than just the shoulder.
The shoulder. So, but Tweki Bonanda, Udila Limutu are ref direct, how na lawyer.
Yeah, because they
the lawyer tries to fast track it, I think.
But they chow your money
but
too.
they chow your
chow
money.
your money, yeah.
So answer it more. King, flat king. Yeah, well, this nigga is calculating in his head. He wants himself in Joburg. How do we control? He's like, oh, now I'm swimming pool now. Hey, for today. So, okay, when I blew joking, when I give out to I blew it over.
Yeah.
Keep looking at that, I blew it. Yes, I get me again.
When I has what chelete, when I Kenyan
Oh
Nahuyen.
my God.
Well, this man that you are helping me find.
Yeah,
How you to chelete thing? Kenan nada.
I know, yeah. So, so that actually chowed most of my time.
We say for your Ushapa a PhD. What's your wife's academic background?
She's an industrial psychologist.
Okay.
Yeah, so she's doing
PhD
in industrial psychology.
Oh, that's what she lectures as well.
Yes, that's what she lectures as well.
Okay.
Yeah.
What's your industrial psychology?
It's about psychology in the workplace.
Okay.
So they look at behavioral science in the work context.
In corporate, they will slot into the HR department.
It will be HR.
Okay.
Particularly maybe around things like organizational development. So happy banalo a lot of times the industrial psychologists how only the union negotiations. How only the union negotiations, there are things that they input in, you know. How like at the accident, there are some reports where industrial psychologists would go interview somebody who had been in an accident. As I think there's a stage where by interviewing so they contribute to the.
And then industrial engineers?
It's builders.
Aye.
Isn't it?
What is the question?
What is an industrial engineer?
Is it an industrial engineer?
Because civil king.
Civil is built environment.
Industrial?
But industrial, I think, Leonable, is it not like business processing?
Okay,
I don't know.
That's it.
Everybody can look it up
I'm
for us.
about to.
Yeah, you can look it up for us. And speaking of ref, now, kind of again, YouTube page, they have a new YouTube page, ref, where they are now trying to empower people to actually not use the lawyers, to divert them. So now because it's about like a national toll-free line, where if you want to claim, and on the YouTube page, a lot of information. A lot of information. That they frequently ask questions. Okay, time frame from your accident, elapsing, like all of that information is on there.
Because also when we leave the process only up to them, they are slow and so anyway, how does it happen? Like, because we do for 2 months, so at what point did the ref kick in?
There's people that come there.
I can imagine these lawyers would that's where they fish.
Yeah, that's where they fish.
Alright. Next time, no time. I just spine is sharp. I get office. It's a ref. Ka be se ke kene, ke ingolisa.
Zwa.
So I think that's why it took him long.
Yeah.
But Babang, I think what happens is that but like this better like happen into how much limits the patient
Ba thola,
they say
and
how
then they
papa
go.
so na le motho o etsetsa. So because the thing is like you never know how much you are in for. So if the lawyer expedites something and it's
Yeah.
money you were not expecting,
Yeah, and it's a range. And based on, my experience of watching, I blew it. Aba blew me for my 2 months. I'm fine. Hey, you look at them 1 point something to 2 meet. You know what I'm saying?
A friend of mine, Carly, that I'm always going away with, she's an occupational therapist. She writes reports that help in determining how much money you're going to get, because after she's assessed you, she needs to determine if you can work again thereafter.
Or your needs and whatnot.
And what your needs are going to be after the accident.
Yeah, that's
so
who we went to see.
So you need that report to
Yes.
submit to RAF
yes.
to help determine how much.
That's
How
what
much
we
they
did.
need to, they need
Yeah,
to give you.
yeah, that's what we did. Because they ask you if you'll have, the more you are not going to be able to get
work.
it, the more the bigger the
the
amount.
higher
The
the
higher
payout,
the
yes.
higher the payout.
Somebody was telling me when I was taking out a policy, got discovered about a guy who had taken disability cover. So there's this, the disability cover has like that product, that specific product, benefit that thing called how limited spanning. They pay the education fees about until varsity.
Until was it?
And that nigga lost a finger. Just a
That's-
finger. Unta span. Because he just lost a finger.
Hey.
Cool feet sabanet patitwe.
Zwap.
That's-
And what's that spa?
Hey.
yeah, it's just a finger, bro.
God damn.
How does
bro.
what type of job does he do?
God damn.
Ke mosebetsi wa matsoho.
Eh,
Body saga body. And then la
butchering that.
hansa spana da wa itsala kotsi.
What's all so?
Wa tswa mnwana na.
I nna nka o ntsha ka bomo.
But hang on, how did he manage to do that with Ansa Spana still? Because I get it, like when you do these type of things, you need like a temporary disability of sorts for your claim to be
Mara
able
ke
to be
disability.
processed.
Aksa khona spana to
That's fast, yeah.
The way. I am
the way
disabled.
Because I have a colleague that, or a former colleague, she was sick, and then I was fuba, ne? But it was during nakosabodi COVID, so she was constantly absent because gangan, she was coughing, she's making everyone else in the workplace feel uncomfortable. But then she was sick. But she must take temporary disability. And then it got to and then Old Mutual paid out for that. And then they're like, no, actually she must take full-time disability. But if you do that, then you can no longer re-enter the workplace because now imali zakho zonke masizphumile.
You can't go back.
You can't go
but
back.
who checks?
But who
who's gonna
checks?
stop me from being employed?
Yeah, who's
Who's
gonna
gonna
check,
check?
after that?
You can still
If I go back to employment, who's gonna go
Who's
check?
gonna
And maybe that money, and because I was being told by the consultant that was selling me the product or trying to, I didn't take it up.
Who included that day?
To include that day, when I span.
He was an independent. Okay.
Yeah, entrepreneur.
Well,
Yeah.
who, the guy who took up the policy.
Yeah.
Yeah, I saying. Man, who tule bunje in there, man.
Nah,
Ah, tule bunje. Nah, he's living nice. He's living nice. He's gonna be living nice.
Tsamayang le nka policy le gaole menwana ya lona le lona.
Mina ke gaola jwang mina ke spana ka computer.
But like, sakho type
Yeah, so no. Okay, yes,
to
fast.
tap around. Actually, that is.
It is a disability.
No, not unless you're a data capturer. You don't need to tap that fast as you can tap at your pace. Unless your job is.
But all your work is on the machine.
But what I'm
Everything
saying
is-
is,
it's
it's
gonna be
fine. You're
uncomfortable.
just going to be. I guess now they hire people with disabilities specifically to meet
For
equota
that-
employment equity. So you missing a finger is not.
Yeah, but it
detriment-
affects my trajectory of growth in my career.
Sure.
That's what it's affect.
Unless you're a data capturer, there's
I
no
get
job
data
that requires
capture.
you to tap that fast.
Why are you against niggas getting
Hey,
there?
what's it?
Get paid.
What will get you down?
Well, I should take a thing, yeah.
Man, we're trying to get paid, man.
Oh no.
See how you are worked up even in your hypothetical.
Hey. Oscar lo spana muso.
Aye.
But it's the type of guy we chatting about. We say I shall take on. What I'm not going to take on.
Aye, man. When I'm all, you good?
I'm good, man. I'm
Easy,
good.
Njaga.
Yeah. Yeah.
Didn't sound fella, nothing much.
He's fighting political battles. It's very complex.
Aye.
Didn't sound
Balomunwa. He should be campaigning. Balomunwa.
One year.
Because I think that it's such a lesson for politics, bro.
Yeah.
It is.
Yeah.
It's such a lesson for politics.
It is. It also gives you an appreciation or actually leniency for politicians.
Yeah. No, I feel you, man. I feel you.
Only the constituency there. There's alignment. Only the
feel
coalition.
Doing the right thing is what gets you kicked out.
Yeah.
Is it?
Yep.
Because people don't like people
Yep.
shaking the boat, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
People don't like people shaking the boat.
Where now?
Nah. Work, bro. Work.
Hey, what's it? Where are you?
Nah, I'm finalizing audits now, I'm fit. So get the
Oh,
deadline,
okay,
get the
okay.
report.
How are
Because
Arabia?
no, it's really busy, get the report, no, the tight deadline. I'm ready to everything.
What does an
before the end.
accountant interview look like? This.
Accounting interview.
Eh.
Ay.
All about to task, Lara.
Nah, it's not that gay. Like,
They would have to, because then,
Because such a process-driven job.
yeah.
It's gonna be mainly what you. I wanna like a lot of the things that you do, car accountants, because a lot of our things. I wanna like, for instance, if we were like at taxing, it's tax legislation. Where I want
question on legislation.
Yeah, so I bet on that, but it
Okay.
won't be entirely because nobody can learn that thing on the top of their head. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
But what about say about, do you know at least the minimum stuff? Yeah, but about our into kind of game. If they're really going technical in it, you know, body, or what are the processes to follow when you've kind of considering tax for motor or for a company, or maybe they'll give you like a scenario. This is the
How would you solve this
yeah,
problem?
and how would you or what that sort of thing, and then depending and happy in this field, depending on where are you going to lean more. You know, like I said, if you lean tax, it'll well more on tax. If you lean more audit,
Yeah.
it will be different types of what's about the risky independence, all of that.
Or what
sort
you
of
do,
stuff.
or how do you manage a difficult client.
And then a lot of the questions as well are within your integrity.
Yeah, 'cause it's a big part of it.
Yeah, integrity. How is so what are like these scenarios that sort of like test your integrity?
Yeah.
Okay, in this situation, what would you do? What high situation? So what would you do? You know. I thought you cook the books. Are you easily swayed by pressure? That sort of stuff. Right. Yeah. So it depends. It depends. So I wanna not know. It's a good to the audit on the audit side, and because the contract the one I'm currently working on, ESCOM as well.
Okay.
Yeah. So it's a good to the report. Fast.
Where's your prayer warrior lady that starts meetings with? Or was that a client?
Who that's it?
Yeah, more than no client. Yeah, no client.
Okala?
Yeah, what kind of meeting can
Ke thapela. Alo rapela ha ha.
Yeah, get client. Yeah,
Eh,
man,
mara
like,
le client, ke client.
hey, you meet all sorts of characters that side, man. All right. Let's get into it. Man, what would do by the
Kausan.
time? Yeah, Kausan. By the time you listen to
The
this,
voting outside.
tomorrow will be voting day. Yeah, and I'm hoping everybody will be out there going to cast their votes. I guess maybe does anyone here want to share
Who they are voting for?
who they're voting for?
To
and
be
why?
honest, I don't know.
Hi.
I don't know who I'm voting for.
You still haven't decided.
I haven't decided.
What
What are you waiting for?
what's the delay?
While in Magal,
No, Dabu's bana. Like,
because
where does the
because
uncertainty stem from?
because everybody wa re shela. Everybody wa referee. And when I think re ke tlo bulela ona a ba re o ka re mokotla wa hae wa bo. But you know ANC released ke bone ngwana ona a leng spokesperson or digital communication officer ya o ba re ngo jola le shimza.
Oh yeah.
Intite dinepe tsa di presidents tsa bona kaofela, and they left out Zuma.
Is it?
Yeah, and they left out Zuma. So they are busy cooking her now on Twitter actually.
Oh my God. Oh my. So they
So,
did that
I
deliberately.
think, to to be quite honest, I always hear people saying, no, listen to manifesto, yeah, please, hale voter, let's go vote like party list has to be manifesto, ne? And I'm of the belief that a manifesto actually doesn't really matter that much. Because in any event, ANC's manifesto is a good manifesto. So it's not by voting a good manifesto that we find ourselves in this shit. It's because these politicians are also humans. We also can't take them on their word, or they will do what their manifesto suggests, right? So you end up, so the most immediate influence of our vote is the fact that we don't want the incumbent, right? So even if I may not necessarily vote for the party that I'm voting for based on principle of the manifesto, what I am actually know is that I'm unhappy with the incumbent, and that's enough reason to vote also.
Yeah, I think that's part of it. But I think for any voter who's considering someone new, looking at the manifesto is important, I think.
When you voted for the first time, did you care for the manifesto?
That's a good question.
Yeah, back then, no.
I've never read a manifesto in my life.
I've never.
Back then, no.
So you base it on the ideology and the posture of the party.
Yeah.
Did your parents influence your vote at the time? Did you vote because Guinea Tlami Ben voted
Yeah, there was a little bit of.
Who did you vote the first time you voted?
The first time? Kind of when did I?
voted the ANC.
Yeah, I think I voted ANC.
Then I voted ANC.
You voted ANC.
Yeah, I voted ANC first
When
time.
I first voted, I voted ANC.
Wabo. So now I'm either gonna vote for MK, not for ntho e ba
Not for
etsang Zuma.
Dai. Not for
And then
Dai
I got the candidates tse sa ratweng ke makgowa.
Are you giving them?
And I also like candidates that are ratweng ke clever blacks.
Eh.
Tse sa ratweng ke rona.
Ke yona ntho
Nganya blind.
ke yona ntho e etsang ke nane o votela Msholozi.
Nganya
He
blind.
wasn't done cooking.
You shake the system.
Yeah.
You
I
giving
might-
him all the votes? All,
But you're not
Provincially, I might not give him because I know he's not strong in my province.
It might be a wasted vote.
Yeah, it
You
might be a
know, wasted
weighted
vote.
vote. I might give it maybe to EFF regionally or nationally.
and provisionally,
No, provincial, but nationally, I might give it to Msholozi.
nationally,
Yes, I might.
you might. So
But my vote is my secret.
you still
I
thinking.
said that on the way.
So when if you haven't read the what's informing
I
your
haven't
choice?
read the manifesto of any of the parties.
So what's currently informing your choice?
I'm voting because ndivotela unjengelolo Misa because he homeboy yam.
So when
And
are you
he's a
doing?
good leader too.
So you're doing it through the ethnic connection. Okay.
I'm not
Tribalistic.
voting for him provincially, but I'm voting for UDM
Nationally. Okay.
Yes.
Purely on the fact that he's your homeboy.
Yeah.
Just
What
based on.
else do you want me to base it on?
It's a valid thing.
Yeah, no.
A lot of people do that.
No, but he's also, I think he's a competent politician too.
So voted because
That nigga una menuli muso anali 31.
yabo.
Yeah, and then your local.
What, the homeland coup?
I listened to him, never more profile at Kosam podcast. He's a very good storyteller. And then Mandela had to trunkung. You know, even after the ANC, unamanganya blind, wabo. Yeah, you know, I'm bringing in as his, I think he was even the
remember
spokesperson
he
for the burial.
He was a
Yeah, he was absorbed into the ANC about because when he took over Muso, he took over from Stella Strau because Nabaja knew. So while she was on holiday, and because he said he was doing it for principled reasons, wabo. And then he did a very lot of good things because he cut the cabinet, and then Aba absorbed into South Africa, Aba Minister of Tourism or something.
Benfuna, I was telling days on the way, bana Benkhalela a municipality that is run by the DA because municipalities that are run by DA are well-run municipalities. But the idea of voting for white people also nauseates me. So, in my mind, like ideally, means voted at UDM nationally, and then
ANC
for-
maybe.
ANC and nobody sakwazi voted because I'm fed up.
Alright. Logical. Definitely logical
Considerations.
considerations there. Manamo, who you riding with?
EFF.
All the way.
EFF.
And your considerations, because you also mentioned you
I don't read manifestos.
Yeah,
I
you
listen to the leaders talk, man. Yeah,
The rhetoric.
I like Pan-Africanists.
Ideals.
Yeah, Pan-Africanist ideologies. I'm especially nauseated by our obsession with nationalism and borders. I hate it.
So now all of these concerns around their foreign policy, when they don't mean much to you.
Yeah, I don't like how, because the fact of the matter is, we are in the position that we are because the land is demarcated according to what whites deemed
Definitely
correct
Yeah.
at the time that they were deciding those things, and we did not determine what these borders, if at all, would be. I'm not entirely saying that there shouldn't be any borders, but it shouldn't be this difficult to travel through Africa as an African.
Facts.
So what do you say about people who are concerned, okay, especially our immediate neighbors, like their markets aren't conducive for like the equal exchange of because I heard I think it was Dr. Who's the EFF man?
Ndlozi.
Yeah, Ndlozi.
He explained it well.
Yeah, talking about economic exchange within neighbors, right? And it's a solid thing, but then I'm wondering, like, is it really equal?
And what economic exchange are we referring to? When we say economic exchange, what do we mean?
It's like,
Goods and services,
you know, like
battle, employment.
How Ibrahim, that guy in Mtandai, is it Niger and another country have formed
Like a block.
yes, where these countries, as much as they're not the
Develop-
same country, but they are doing economic exchanges with one another, where they're swapping resources and knowledge and
Yeah, I saw that.
and they're just trying to do right by their people, but
yeah.
together. It's like
Toge-
benzi group work and ngathi yasebenza le group work abayenzayo.
Like the old bartering system type of way.
Word. Or when I
But
like
that only says, because I'm not an economist, and I don't have the sophisticated English or the knowledge or the technical knowledge to either rebut. I can only advance my opinion from an ideological ideological standpoint.
Sure.
Right? Because if you're saying, but then now I have to then, from the little that I know about the economy, when you say economic exchange,
sure.
What factors of the economy are we referring to?
Oh, when I'm talking about energy, I'm talking about the things that push our GDP, man.
So all the things we don't own
exporting,
anyways.
Yes.
Yeah,
That's my thing.
Sure.
All the things we don't own anyways.
Word.
Yeah, all the things we don't own anyways, that we're saying that we can't exchange with other African countries, that they have, are badly run, but they own.
Yeah. Word.
But they own. If we can just get over or figure out how to take back what we're fighting for, not even first. It doesn't have to be first. If we can figure out how to take back, actually it might have to be first, because the more money then is being made across the border, the harder it will be for us to take it back.
Yeah.
But if we had what we had, and we had the stamina and the foresight to go and develop these same industries in other countries and work out some,
Deals and whatnot.
stakes. It doesn't mean how and build what I think you need. I might own part of it.
Yeah.
I might own part of it, or I might have some of my people working in that department
Working there, sure.
for transfer of skills,
Yes.
and to
Alleviate unemployment.
Sure.
and to drive operational efficiency.
Efficiencies, yeah.
Because we've been doing this
For a while.
before.
Yeah, we've been cooking.
I don't honestly believe there's nothing to be gained from increasing collaboration between the different countries and the cross-cultural assimilation and the mixing and just the general. Because now if we're saying, hey, obviously as the people who have the most e tlo qala e je ka wena pele.
And but balela yona ntwe.
Logic dictates that it look like Asia ka wena pele. But
before-
what do you have now? What do you have now?
You ain't got much.
That's why the
And
first
then bo mashaba ba tlo go jwetsa ka di-plaza shop. Tsena tso senang tsona le hona tjena. What do you have now, my guy?
yeah to exchange.
Sena se etsang hore o hane o sebedisana mmoho le ngwaneno. Ke eng e kana kana o sa e batleng from ngwaneno? Where you are now singing in the same tune with the very people who oppressed
Ba o
your
nketse ntho e
forefathers.
kgolo.
Nah, I hear you. I hear you.
Ko ha se re beya dibuka one side. Se re bua jwale
Ska
Yeah, it's
batho.
ska batho, sure.
Se re itsheba jwale.
ke eng e kana kana o e nyatsang ngwaneno?
I think it's fear.
Ke eng o mo tsikisang yona?
It's fear, I guess.
Yeah, well, yeah, you are right, Des, because the thing about this
Because
thing,
then it goes, Askisi Taban, then it goes back to what I was saying previously. We are just all the same. We are all the same. If had it been us, we would have been just as oppressive and just as exclusionary
class
as
thing.
white and classist as white people are.
As white people are. Yeah, we know better. We know better.
But our jobs must be reserved for. Why don't we just create industry across borders?
Yes.
And just make sure that people are able to travel to and fro.
Easily and be able to get a job easily.
Hey.
That side. Why one?
because now my first point of departure is, because you see, economics, sociology, anthropology, politics, somewhere these things meet somewhere in the middle. For example, my point of departure is that nobody wants to be away from home. That's the first thing. Nobody wants to be away from home. Everybody leaves home for opportunity,
Word.
right? Economic opportunity in this case, right? Then the way Lozina explained about if we collaborate, we are also reducing the reason for somebody to come.
To the seat.
They say, think about it. The same way people come to Joburg. If you think about Joburg and the rurals, forget into most people don't want to come to Joburg if they had to work. If Mtata was working,
Yeah. If the Free
if
State
Mtata was working, I don't have to come to Joburg.
Bethlehem was working, I would have never come
yeah,
to Joburg.
if Bethlehem
In
is
fact,
fine.
even guy working from home,
I
like
would have
now,
never come here.
Yeah,
if
yeah,
it was working
never.
from home,
would've-
your disposable income right now,
yeah.
you tulela Bethlehem, but you will not need to come to Joburg. But what will do? The reason you go to Joburg will be maybe it will be for tourism or whatever.
The opportunities are here.
The fact that a lot of us have been more to overseas countries than actually within Africa, in and of itself is telling.
Word.
And sometimes we have to fly out of the continent to go to the continent.
What's up, Fana? Sninding Nikimamitsi a radio interview. This was a radio interview where they were interviewing Dr. Lazilu Sharp.
Skim sao.
And he was talking about the decolonization of education and certain biases we have towards Western ideals, like Eurocentric views, things that are based on, like,
To Zamaga.
be it religion, spirituality,
Education.
science, engineering. Wabona? Hore no how to wakula. Ne? And as African people, he's just making an example. As an African, you know that there's the body
Yeah.
and there's the spirit.
Word.
And if you are ill, it could be one or the
the
other,
other.
One or the other.
right? And then you go to a Western doctor, and he's unable to help you with your ailments,
Then you know it's spiritual.
right? Then,
Because
as
we've dealt
an
with the
African,
physical.
then you know that it's spiritual, and then you go to
Those people who deal with that.
that is not recognized.
Yes. In the healing profession.
Yeah, they don't
Eh,
recognize.
that is not recognized, right? And it not being recognized is also being upheld by black people or black doctors who were educated, got that same Eurocentric
Education system.
education system. So,
let's say.
so in actual fact, we are the upholders of the system. We are upholding it. As much as we try to say that
he's consistent with that.
we need to be, as much as we like to say, black people must be recognized more in society, our customs and beliefs, but we are the ones that are holding us
We
back.
are getting in our own way.
Yeah, we do the same.
Yeah.
And find out there was nothing derogatory or insulting about the way he was talking. Basically, his message was just like as Africans, we just need to start fighting more for our traditions and customs and our beliefs.
Yeah, yeah.
And start fighting more for our history and education and context and African experience to be included in the education system.
100%.
So that we don't forget who we are.
Yeah,
100%.
Yeah, and I agree with
In
that.
fact,
So
I agree with that.
I'm coming to my
Yeah.
point now. Batlabi?
ke a leboha.
So I'm coming to my point now. So now, obviously, after he does, and he's very articulate and eloquent too. Utlabua nako
That's it.
e telele and he knows what he's saying.
Damn fine. Yeah, ideally.
Yeah, he busy cooks.
Hey, even though you might not think he's right, but okay, his thoughts are well cooked.
Yeah.
He's not just grabbing things
yeah.
out of
He's
thin
not
air.
spewing.
Ke mo tagelezitseng,
Yeah.
that
And
knows.
yeah, ke ne ke mo thageletsisang.
Yeah, and ke mo tagelezisang. Wa bona? So now after the interview, people will call in,
And ask questions.
ask questions, or give opinions. Can I tell you, the majority of the people that were telling him to fuck off are black people.
Yo, that's wild, bro.
The very people he's trying to free.
He's
It
trying to
was
free.
black people. The white people would come in and they would say, no, re a mutla.
Yeah.
Re a mutla, but
cooking.
Western science really.
Yeah.
Then along the scientific thing,
Yeah,
no,
the
these
roots.
things can't be proven or whatever. They're arguing from an educational,
An education here, no
educational, intellectual standpoint. But I think motho na ha re tlohele yona a ska tlo go tlela ka ntho tse ntse tsa di ke maitseng rona re batla lo rapella badimo.
Danko. And you look at our communities who
Black people, bro.
Who upholds.
I was so appalled.
Yeah.
Bro, this guy just spent the last hour advocating for your representation in society, and you telling him that he's talking nonsense.
Because decolonization,
Colonization
preempts decolonization.
decolonization. And wabona ha qeta ho bua are kare wa ba bona ba bua jwang. This is exactly what I'm talking about. Go like you've been indoctrinated to the extent that you are now the gatekeeper
of those things.
of this thing.
You've been oppressed so much that you have become the oppressor.
This is exactly how colonization
Happened.
manifests in our
Yeah.
society.
Yep. Yep.
Because now I'm thinking, fine, the manifesto might be shit, going back to EFF now, the manifesto might be unrealistic, the things that they're saying might cripple the economy, as people would like to say, oh, the country can't afford all these things and whatnot.
Yeah.
And I don't view the pointers in a manifesto to be things that are going to happen overnight.
Overnight,
Definitely.
first day of office.
No,
Hey,
no,
or
no.
you're just going to go
It's
in
the
there
plan.
and start grabbing
the
money out of
vision.
the state coffers and
It
doing all
is.
these things that you want to do. There has to be a plan. I don't believe that these people are stupid, number one.
100%.
Right?
Because they're not.
And yes, some of the things that they do mention in the manifesto might be unrealistic. And maybe these might be things that they later find out and have to relook.
Once by Haramus.
Once Bale Haramuso. But my thing is, right, how can you logically, as a black person who is pro-black, sit there and listen to Floyd say the things that he's done?
Yeah.
Go and say the things that he says.
Yeah.
Right? And not agree with him.
Yeah. Fundamentally, at least.
And not
Even if you don't fuck with the party, but
yeah,
but-
fundamentally. How can you
Yeah.
not agree with his politics?
Yeah.
How can you not agree with what Nduyiseni is saying?
yeah, what he's cooking.
Right. Yes, you might have reservations around the delivery if you listen to Malema.
Yes.
Right. And you might have reservation around their believability.
Yes.
You might say, I don't
I trust
believe you.
Yeah.
But how do you honestly say what he's saying is not correct?
It's not correct.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah,
Yes.
yeah.
That's what baffles me.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
That's what baffles me as a black person, how you would hear what this man is saying
and not fundamentally agree without the other stuff.
Yeah,
the
without
caste
saying, okay,
issues.
I'm still not going to vote for you.
Yeah.
Because I don't believe that you actually believe the things that
And-
you're
and
saying.
it's fine.
And I
And
also don't believe that you'll actually do the
Do
things that you're
that you're
saying.
saying.
But what you're saying is right.
It's right.
Yeah.
At least at that level.
Yeah.
Even though I may not reward it with the vote.
Yeah.
Hey.
Yeah.
But I agree. Like fundamentally, as a black person, you can't fault what they say.
Because we have all the reasons why a white person would not agree. Because the things that they they
Had to
advance
take away from
has
them.
to take from them.
from
Yes,
them.
we
It
can
makes
understand
sense.
that resistance.
I can understand why a white person is so resistant.
Yeah.
But
You know it's
you,
a
my
sense.
nigga.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know it's a sense. You know it's a sense.
Yep.
You know it's a sense. Yeah,
Nah,
no,
man,
I
we-
feel you, bro.
And
I feel
and so then wrap it up to answer your question.
Yeah.
That is why I'm voting
for
EFF.
yeah, for them niggas.
Ha bua ka la Zulu shaba. Hore the way that man leng slim ka teng. Una interview ke a profile wa ke o tshengwe ya lekgowa wa bona who is like historian or whatever ba bua. Abarukena. I qeta botsa potso. Do you see how fundamentally racist that question is? And the guy seems baffled because to them they think racism is like, I said, are nonetheless,
Yeah.
I will entertain it. But you see, do you notice how?
So
how
he first pointed out.
that's a
Hey,
very racist question.
The fact that you even asked that
But
thing.
nonetheless, because the question has been
been
asked,
asked.
I need to attempt to answer.
And
it.
he
I-
also acknowledged that you can't help it.
Hey, about you. How to connect? When I tell you, I can see why this. It's a very problematic question because a white professor will not does not get to ask this question.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Man, we need more thinkers.
But my thing about even Cantone, in line what Muliso was saying, Antonio Bots,
Yeah.
foreign, the free borders. The thing is, Mahua, one of the things they've been good at is letting us fight amongst ourselves while they are running away. Because you ask any person, random person, when you say foreigner, everybody has a black face. You don't think a Greek person is a foreigner. Hama police are emisa mona kuluing bagabata foreign. They go to a dark person. Yet the hoa lily China haba emisi. For example, can't you tell about the free borders and whatnot? Zambia, hona leba Sotho. Hona leba Mazulu. They call them Ngonis now. Ne? Hona leba Xoko, abarki batonga. Ne? These are our people. These are our people, right? The funniest thing is that the picture we are being sold about Africa is always this thing. We as South Africans, we are trying to get converted into an American of Africa. Wabo? So that we see them as Karkilepere. But when you go there, you become so fascinated with their history. Like there are some Iskolo, Lesamazu, design anyway. You go to Egyptian artifacts, it's like, oh man, there's a connection between this thing. To the point where when you go to, like if I mention Zambia, people will always think, poverty, maybe. When you go there, you get so fascinated about the rich history that actually, even it as a tourism destination, starts going up in your consideration. But all those things we are not doing because the only thing when you look at a Zambian, you are looking at somebody that's here to take your job. That's all you are interested in. Then you start having a fear of it. People still get so shocked.
And
that
the same job
Kilokhoa.
because a Greek person and encounters the same problem that a Zimbabwean would encounter, and he doesn't have any avenues that are catered for by the government to help him out of that situation. Let's say in a world where we said, okay, we will prioritize South Africans. All these social welfare services are only reserved for South Africans, right? Foreigners are not supposed to get them. The difference between the Greek and the Zimbabwean is that the Greek can afford to be excluded from that because he has
the man,
either the money or the community.
There's already
community.
Yeah.
He can afford to be excluded. He can afford to be excluded from the things that you are fighting your brothers to be excluded from.
Yeah.
And the help that he's going to receive and the support that he's going to receive
Ingadam.
from his community. Ne?
Ingadam, mfana.
That support is built off the backs of black people too.
Yes. Di mine tsena ne di shiko ke bona batho ba Zambia ba Malawi ba kae kae.
So in actual fact, even if this person does not run to the government for help, he's still taken from you indirectly.
Yes.
Do you know
Yes.
that our
Yes.
Yep.
Yes. Yes.
our plug, late him is he's not South African. Ne, using a scape, like he's not even he doesn't
Oh,
have paperwork,
that plug.
nothing. Yes. But when he got here, other white people just took care of him.
Yeah.
And
Yes.
That's
he's
what they
still
do.
not a citizen.
Zin.
But
But the way he makes citizens feel,
Mnate.
Cause rona ga le bala re batho bana
Mnate.
when the lekgowa ha le le re mistreat re cheka kholeta ne re cheka le bona batho bana they've got a stake in here. The West, we actually are related to them by DNA.
Tjhelete ena e ba e sebedisang ho thusana. E ntse le
Ntse
tjhelete e
tjhelete
nkuweng
ya
ho rona.
Wabo?
Yeah, man. Yeah, no, I feel you, dog. Yeah, no, I feel you. I wanna happy because a lot of us are not well traveled.
Because what EFF is saying, think about now we decide, what I just dropped about Zambia, man, I'm sure there's a Balozi in Zambia. Let's go, let's get on the plane and go port there. But the way it will be so difficult today to arrange that.
It will be hella difficult.
It will be hella difficult.
And the currencies are weak. Then they have to take up the dollar. Then it becomes expensive for us Africans to travel
Yes.
to those countries.
To those countries.
You know, the 24-hour work system that's in the manifesto, EFF, it's unsustainable.
Yeah.
At first glance, I can look at that thing and tell you that this might not work because for that to even work, you would have to build a 24-hour economy, which we don't have. And for you to build a 24-hour economy, you would have to take care of crime.
Yeah.
Because who's going out at midnight
Then midnight to go work. Bro.
to go work if you're going to create a 3-shift 24-hour
Yeah. System.
system? But there'll be nothing for these people to serve as Bisu. It's going to become clear very quickly
Okay,
that this
go
thing
back
is going to.
forward.
Then they'll be forced to go back to the drawing
To
board
pivot,
and
yeah.
go
And pivot.
And you know what I like about them as well is that they place an emphasis on education.
Yeah.
and
Heavy.
they also make sure they not even, let me not say make sure because I don't know that for a fact, but I know that there's a concerted effort to provide a sort of education
Even for the members aboard.
that is African centric.
That's African centric,
Right?
yes.
You will see it by the lectures.
Yeah,
that
and the
they-
talks that they organize.
the lectures and the talks that they organize and the people that they invite and
Yeah.
and the books that they
Bo Professor
that
Lumumba.
they recommend
Yeah,
and
somebody
you know,
recommend and,
Bofana and all of that. You can see that they have a pan-Africanist
Ideology.
Ideology.
And what I also like about them,
whatever decision that they take will always be guided
By
by
that.
that.
and they are young enough to be the one that are implementing those things as well.
Hey.
They have the age on their side.
They might not be always right.
Yeah. Yeah.
And about the etsa diphoso. Yes, but
Like everybody
and
else.
about teng ba tla utswa tjhelete.
Yes.
Ba teng ba tla utswa tjhelete. So now if you're gonna say, yeah, no, Malema is no different from America because bona ba entse in Limpopo. Look what your people did to the entire country.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because the thing about ANC, you don't have to go read a manifesto. Them niggas are governing, bro. You already see what
You
they
judge
do.
them on performance.
Yeah, you have to judge them on performance.
On performance.
Yeah.
So
ANC are such a manifesto.
If we are not all going back to the ANC, which we are clearly not, I don't see how you as a black person trying to think who else to vote for. You don't go for
EFF.
EFF.
If you're pushing ideology, if you
Yeah,
are,
for me
if you-
personally,
if you
I
are
don't
grounding it on
like. For me,
ideology.
it's unfathomable how you would keep listening to these black leaders and their new young parties talking about an all-inclusive economy,
Fuck it.
Yeah.
Boom Zanzi.
talking
Yeah.
about an all-inclusive economy. Bruh.
When we know who's the disenfranchised
Nah.
demographic.
Yeah. man.
And all you keep talking about is jobs, ne? And
boss.
Now when you keep
I
saying
was about
jobs,
to say, Bossa.
you keep saying jobs. I'm just hearing slavery.
Yeah. For real, bro.
I'm just saying slavery.
real.
Let's create as let's create as many
many
workers
slaves.
as
You're
possible
cooking, yeah.
for
Yeah,
these people.
he's cooking.
Also,
Well,
yeah,
Let's just
yeah.
keep giving them workers,
Yeah.
so
And
that they
have-
can keep
Yep.
looting and extracting wealth
Yep.
from our country.
In fact, when we are going back to
One minute.
Yellow Zilusha about like one of the things is that you never hear a party that says how to reconfigure South Africa to the way that it reflects the natives, right? So, for example, when I'm saying to you, it can be that the 80% of the economy is centered between Joburg, Durban, and Cape Town.
Cape Town.
When you have 9 provinces, right? You got 9 provinces, right? You have people have to leave those provinces to come to top 3 universities. It's always UCT, it's UJ, it's University of Pretoria, right? Because you are not making what we deem as dorpies or small towns cool enough to be able to have economies of their own that absorb people. When you go to Mafikeng, the way Mafikeng used to be like, it used to be a thriving economy with arts and everything, né? But everything is moving to Joburg. You've got
Because the people are moving to
You've got call centers, right? Right now, like when I talk about reconfiguring the economy. A person from Soweto and Tembisa have to take 3 taxis to go to a call center job.
Yeah, it's wild,
And
man.
I wonder if you listen to, I would really recommend that you listen to Floyd Shivambu a lot more if you're not, and
Because
you know,
EFF in our podcast, thank you.
Yeah.
yeah, or even his interviews, that
His
he-
interviews.
oh,
Una le
yeah.
nngwe ya- ke shebetse ku King David.
Or the one that he did with that
Sizwe.
yeah, Mpofu
Yeah, I
too.
listened to that
Yeah,
one as
yeah.
well.
Yeah, and how and who or what what's the word? The inspiration. The inspiration around their ideology, right? And how they connected to the history of the ANC, Youth League to be specific, right? Because habo Robert in the Canada.
What's the book?
Habo Robert ba kenara bathola bo Nelson Mon. Bathola bo Walter le Anton
Yeah.
Lembere, yeah.
Lembede, ne? There was this resolution that they forced upon the leaders at ANC. They called it a something program of action.
Yeah, okay, hope.
Ne? Mona bona ba tseka to I'm paraphrasing now because I don't remember
The actual,
the finer details. Like we need to take we need to take a more Africanist stance to our policies and start vying for control of resources of production. Ne? They had to force these
On the agenda.
On the agenda.
They had to force it on the agenda. Like niggas were grabbing mics mid conference.
Wow. Wow.
Back then, niggas were grabbing mics. Back
Mics.
then, okay, let's get over here. Someone, hey, we want to and they forced it. In fact, what they came out with, they called it. It was something in our lifetime. I think it was freedom in our lifetime.
Which now
Which is now economic
freedom in our lifetime. Yeah.
Economic freedom
in our
Like
lifetime.
literally, that program of action is the blueprint.
Of the EFF.
Yeah,
Oh,
EFF.
yeah, EFF.
Ke blueprint ya EFF and that thing. Like this is actually, these things were agreed upon
ANC, that conferencing year.
in the
Then it
ANC.
was abandoned along the way.
The people who are the leaders of the ANC
See,
now,
now. Agreed on
or in
this
fact,
day.
the people that came in '94 were the people who fought for that program of action and then abandoned it.
Abandoned
when
it
they came.
along the way.
Along the way.
Wa bona? Ila habo Malema ba kena Youth League,
Ba re ba e tsosa.
ba enka, ba e tsosa,
Ba e tsosa.
which eventually led to the
Disbandment.
Was it an expulsion or they-
Suspended.
No, Baba did expelled.
Yeah, Malema was particularly expelled.
He was expelled, and then Floyd,
Floyd was in protest.
Yeah,
O late- o latetse ntho.
he chose to go with him.
Yeah,
Then
they were-
Sandile,
the
ho na le that
resignation.
guy who passed away, Sandile Makaka or something, he was suspended, but he was sympathetic to Malema as well.
So there's what they are doing now. There's nothing. It's not new to the ANC.
Yes.
It's nothing new to the ANC.
And not even
In
far
fact,
removed.
it strengthens the case at EFF because they are saying
They're not far removed.
we spoke about this, gents. We spoke about this 60 years ago. We spoke about this 60
and when we are
years ago.
supposed to turn into that avenue, se le batla ho iwe left.
Lona jwale se le tshwere line e nngwe, di ntsha. And if for them to also be in denial about the fact that what these guys are saying is right is also crazy.
Yeah. Yeah. It's nuts because Lee Dume it's alone 60 years ago, daddy.
Eh.
Nearly
E ne ke nya ke lona.
Only the pampiri to prove that shit.
Now that you are the incumbents,
minutes in.
you are now behaving exactly like the
Now
oppressed.
tell me now, which groups of, and I call them youth, ne? Even though youth fell like at 35, ne?
Yeah.
And I remember I was saying this to y'all in the group the other day, Hori. This is the first group
Yeah.
of youth, ne?
Yeah.
That have dictated political, ideological discourse
Yes.
since Bonelson.
Yeah,
Yes.
in the country, bro.
Yes.
If we are being honest.
Yes.
If we are being honest.
Yes.
Especially from black leaders.
Since Bonelson.
Kibona fair.
Bonelson were the last cohort.
Yeah,
Ba
to
be ba
cook.
tsofala.
Ho
So
tshwa-
di-
ho tshwa- ho tshwara political discourse like
As a
and
youth.
and ba ba banka naha.
Yeah, Kayona.
Ba itshwere so ntho e.
Yeah. Word.
Yeah.
Word.
And
bro.
about Floyd jwale le bona ba itshwere tjena. Ba itshwere tjena ntho e.
Word. If we were being honest.
And rona re ba tsikisa yona.
If we were being honest, man.
Mara ngithi sorry Dave, Mandela uthe makaphuma ngithi, and then when he war marumo fats guys, we're gonna just let
I wanna pay more. Skawara Stamala.
Ba tlola ta wena. Relax.
so are and then this new world was supposed to be born in 94 angithi. So now it's not to say we were being passed or the youth shortly after our democracy was passive. It's because as per Mandela's instruction we were giving our new
Initially news dispensation.
a chance to see, but are things going to be fixed? Are we going to get the land? We were giving the new democracy a chance to see if it'll work. And it's only like Ngog that we realize that
It's not working.
it's not all,
It's not working the way they're doing it right
Yes.
now. I suspect.
it's not as advertised.
Wa bona ho tshwana la ka botsa I think it was Mbeki who last had the two terms, 2/3 majority, ne?
Yes.
Yeah, it was
If you go to the NC today and you are like, you had this thing, ne?
Yeah.
Why didn't you 'cause-
Change.
Why didn't you change?
Then
Just answer us. When you had the 2/3 majority,
to change the constitution too.
you know, like Malema once said, since re fihla hi parliamenting, we even had to dictate an African-friendly diet.
What do you mean?
Go be re na le ja dijo tsa maburu.
Oh.
Ha la change le diet. He said that ha le fihla hi ke rona e kae papa. So you have like structural things, man. You still have Roman Dutch law.
I wanna talk. The reason that I like that whole Pan-African thing, because white people are unashamedly pro-white.
Pro-white. Anywhere in the world.
In all spheres.
Yes.
Remember that video I shared with Christianity in
Yes,
the
yes,
Kukara,
yes.
where how even in Christianity them niggas are pro-white and nitpick
Yes.
and nitpick scripture too.
And they are oppressive.
To drive that nationalist.
to drive that nationalist agenda. And now when I hear that Pan-African ideology from the AFF that is pushing the black agenda.
Yes, it's Riti Samotamo to anywhere in the world.
Yeah, that pushes the black agenda. I'm like, this is what I'm riding with.
Yeah.
Because I think it's very imperative and important to we often speak about it on the pod, an agenda of blackness. and programs and things to be established that just exclude others and push black
Language, culture.
culture.
Any party,
Anything. I mean, all spheres
Yeah.
must be pro-black.
yeah, any party that keeps saying, no, we are a party for all South Africans. No, because South Africa, at this juncture of its democracy, the face of poverty remains black.
Then you'll hear us trying to nitpick, ne? Then we start nitpicking on
Catch the rest of this episode on Patreon.
The Dojo.